Ethiopia remains grim, and the latest coming in is that Tigray's rebel forces fired rockets into the city of Bahir Dar in Amhara region. Now, according to government sources, the attack did not cause any damage, and the conflict in the northern Ethiopia has killed hundreds over the past 2 weeks. The humanitarian crisis is already stretching borders, and more than 30,000 Ethiopians have left their homes and fled to Sudan. And on Friday, Dr. Mulunega Kase, the chief executive of the interim administration, held a press conference, and there he said that the Tigray people have been hostage of the ruling TPLF party for years now.
As you know, the Tigray people has been hostage of this TPLF regime for many years. There has never been an election that is participatory, democratic, transparent, and trustful.
And of course, a big name has emerged in the ongoing conflict now. The Director General of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, now has been accused of supporting the Tigray state-dominant political party, that is the TPLF. Ethiopia's military has alleged that Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has been trying to procure arms for the Tigray People's Liberation Front. The Ethiopian Army Chief of Staff, General Birhanu Jula, did not give any specific details of his allegations, though. And Tedros is an Ethiopian and hails from the Tigrayan region. Tedros had held all the executive positions under the coalition government, which was led by the Tigray People's Liberation Front, the party which effectively ruled Ethiopia for decades as the strongest force in the coalition, until Prime Minister Ahmed Abiy took office 2 years ago, that is. Not even a week ago, Ethiopia's government announced that its troops would continue marching on the Tigray region's capital after rebel forces let a deadline to surrender pass. But later, the Ethiopian government announced that it has taken away weapons of Tigrayan soldiers working as peacekeepers in the Horn of Africa region. This development is particularly worrisome because Ethiopia's military plays a big role in the African Union's peacekeeping force in Somalia and elsewhere in Horn of Africa. Its troops act as vanguards against the advances of insurgent groups such as the Al-Shabaab. According to a Reuters report, diplomatic and security sources within Ethiopia have said that between 200 and 300 Tigrayans have had their weapons removed. Regional experts say that the crisis can soon turn into a full-blown civil war. Thousands of people have fled their homes. Sudan is seeing the highest influx of Ethiopian refugees in years.
أنا اسمي ترحاس كنت ساكنة في حمرة وكان عندي كوفير وكان عندي بيت لما احنا بس ما عرفنا الحرب قام بخيف كيف ما عرفنا قروشنا زاد في البنك ما جبنا حاجة وما جبنا هدوم لعيالنا وما جبنا أكل نحن جينا الحمدايد لما نجي في الحمدايد في الشارع.
أنا اسمي الماس أسيوية من قبيلة تجراي جيت من حمارة بسبب الحرب بسبب الضرب بتاع رئيس دكتور أبي وأمحر رجل
But fleeing to Sudan did not end their troubles. Refugees in Sudan's Ethiopian camps say that they are facing dire scarcity of resources. The food and medical supplies are also now running low.
لما جينا هنا يعني الشيء اللي لقيناه كويس هو مويه بس هنا في السودان يعني مويه كويس ما في مشكله لكن.
And now for more on this, WION correspondent Kolata Wanjo, he is live with us from Addis Ababa. Thank you so much for joining us. Various developments here, but to begin with, Ethiopia's military has alleged that Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has been trying to procure arms for the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Could you elucidate on these allegations?
Well, as early as about 1:30 a.m. Our time here, that is the wee hours of the morning, we understand that rockets were fired from Tigray, which is the northern region where the fighting is going on, into Bahir Dar. Now, the distance between Tigray and Bahir Dar is about 180 miles traveled by air. So, and we remember that the government has blamed it on the TPLF, and we remember that there was a similar attack on the same area some few days ago. So what happened is there were 3 rockets that were fired, 2 landed near the airport and 1 in a maize field. Now the communication head of communication in the Amhara region where this happened says that probably the target was the mass media network in the Amhara region and probably the airport, but they're saying that the airport is still not very damaged. Now this is just a significant, I mean, it's significant. The attack is significant in the ongoing violence because it shows that the TPLF still have some missiles or still have some equipment and of war that they're still using against the government.
All right, now what measures can we expect going forward? Now Tigray's rebel forces, like you mentioned, fired rockets into the city of Bahir Dar and the Amhara region. What do you think we can expect in the days to come?
I think in the days to come, we expect the government to do more in terms of its military operation, because remember, the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has promised to the people of Ethiopia that he's going to soon, he used the word very soon, to end this military operation. He needs to show that, because if we're seeing the TPLF still possessing missiles, and yet the government said that they had already disarmed them of these missiles, or the missiles were not there, then that means the citizens on the other side might start questioning the authenticity of what the government is saying. So we are bound to see more military operation from the government, probably more effort. And now we have seen the Ethiopia Telecom, the telecom company here, there's only one that is now, it has now set up a point where it says people can contribute to the national defense forces that are fighting there. So that tells us that there's need for more resources for the defense forces to go ahead and finish this once and for all. Whether that will happen, we don't know the timeline.
All right, and I was actually going to come to that. You have mentioned this, but just for more clarity on this, the Ethiopian government announced that it has taken away weapons of the Tigrayan soldiers working as peacekeepers. Could you tell us about the implications of this?
Well, we're seeing, just like you said in your intro, we are seeing the humanitarian aspect taking over. It's something that the government said will not happen probably, but now it's becoming too much. Humanitarian agencies saying at least about 2 million people would be affected by this conflict between November and just January next year. That's a span of just 3 months. So that is a big number. And already we've seen the European Union saying that it's giving planning to give £4 million to Sudan, that is hosting the refugees. An average of about 4,000 refugees running away from Ethiopia into Sudan. That tells us a very, very big story without even explaining so much words. So what we are seeing is the humanitarian aspect is what is now coming up, and now more calls for de-escalation of the conflict.
All right, Coletta, thank you so much for joining us with all those details.